Yes, welcome. Recording started, and I know this white hand. It's from Snowman because we're in Norway and it's dark. How you can see it, and this white is actually remind us that I'm going to move soon. Actually, no, it was my experiment, and I'm going to change this and find music. And I'm promising already there are so many days, so many shows. That I'm going to change it, and I don't have time. Okay, but that show that my show is so authentic that we actually people, normal people, we can promise, we can forget. But the most important stuff, we of course should not forget. And today, welcome to the very special, spectacular show. Diversity is the game changer because with us, really special person who is creating these changes, not talking, not by shit and blah blah blah, but actually by actions, real actions, which is leading to real changes. Please help me to welcome just the one and only Daniel Alonzo with Z.
All right, what's going on? I'm excited. I'm excited to be here, and I'm just excited about talking about wealth and health and life and business and anything else that comes to our mind. I mean, I'm a lover of of learning new things, but I'm even more passionate about doing new
Few
things.
things. And actually, no, he is really talker because before actually I put this button, we have already scaled a do-in plan because now we should not steal much time, especially by me, like Chinese machine, sometimes talking for 50 cents because we don't want him to lose his plane to Norway because we already have a plan how he can come here. But I was joking that no, I do love Palm so much that maybe I will be the first who will be running to catch up him first in town. So we, stay with us, my beautiful audience. We will have something really doable, really special, not just talkable. But today, of course, we will be uh, focused first on presenting our guest. I know in many circles you don't need any presentations, but still, in Norway, people kind of we a little bit far, so they need, right? So welcome me today, like I said, Daniel, and we have actually title for this episode, which I put one title yesterday. Today I made even more my homework, and I was so inspired by your episode about silence. Why actually we should be focused on more silence, but not like by not talking, but actually following the decision by our actions. So maybe, or we put it like wealth on the beach, but or the easiest way to build financial freedom in 2006 in silence, or actually very cool. I think maybe like you told us and encouraged us, do it now. Maybe do it now with Daniel Alonso. Short, the point.
I like the do it now. I
Yeah,
like the do it now with Daniel Alonzo
yeah.
because
My
that is
homework.
that is
Didn't
that's
get
what I
yet.
do.
Do it
Yeah,
now. Do
that's
it
it.
now.
That's what I do. I mean, that's my
That's
it's my
cool.
mantra.
Absolutely. So, welcome again. Like I said, diversity is the game changer, the podcast where diversity of thoughts, mind, approaches, everything is not just a buzzword, but a powerful force that shapes leadership, innovation, sustainable success, and sustainable results, which you will be opening the secret how we can get them. So I will just intro it a bit more. So Daniel Alonso is three-time best-selling author, entrepreneur, financial educator who achieved financial independence by the age of 28. You mean last year?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Just did
You
it.
started in kindergarten, so last year. Okay. So he leads over 60 independent offices and more than 1,500 licensed agents across the US. So with his organization managing more than, oh my God, over 500 million. A lot of really results money. So, and he's also host of the Wealth on the Beach podcast, ranked top 100 by Million Podcasts, where he interviews business leaders, creators, disruptors on money, mindset, modern success, and many more, of course. So, known for his high energy and actually actions, I love it, and spirit and mantras and, smile and so much to be a role model from and a very special approach. So Daniel challenges conventional thinking about money and success. His mission is very clear: to help people take control of their finance, it means of their life, build real lasting wealth, and design life on their own terms. But behind every strong mindset and bold leadership style lies a deep story shaped by childhood experience and the way we think differently. So welcome, welcome again. And I'm jump right not to the future presence, but a little bit backwards because before all that, we know we already discovered it last year. You became independent, started a childhood, now in kindergarten with your fineness because you look so young. So please, could you be so kind to take us to the kingdom or beach, I don't know, of this little boy with his dreams, aspirations, plans, little Daniel, how he was, and how actually your childhood, your roots, your how much of your childhood's DNA impact who you became today. And I'm sure a lot because we are from our roots, I do believe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you. A little
No,
bit.
no, look, I was a little motivated kid. I always had energy. I always wanted, felt like I wanted to do something great with my life. I was always inspired by movies, and I always was inspired by sports, but I had a lot of insecurities, and I had a lot of self-doubt, and my parents got divorced very young.
Mm-hmm,
I probably saw things in my life that a little kid should not have been seen.
mm-hmm,
And I mean, I started drinking at a younger age than most, hanging out with the wrong crowds, getting in a lot of fights. I was a fighter. My grandfather was a professional boxer, so I learned how to fight, but
mm-hmm,
I got picked on because I'm not 6'3", and people thought that, because maybe I had a lot of friends, I was a little bit popular, they would sometimes pick on me,
mm-hmm,
and I was just always tough enough to be able to fight back. So I
mm-hmm,
never took shit from anybody, and I
mm-hmm,
learned that as a kid that you gotta stand up for yourself, and you need to be tough sometimes, and you have to take risks and to go for it, and
mm-hmm,
but I, so but I was, I mean, I learned that stuff a little bit later on. I kind of would look back on that stuff. This is a little bit in my nature, but I was a bad boy, right? I got in a lot of trouble. I was getting suspended in school, and I was, teachers were, couldn't control me, and I was always challenging the teachers and saying, I don't believe you. Why am I going to ever use this stuff? This is bullshit. Why do I got to learn this? And so I was always in my nature, I was challenging the status quo. I didn't just hear the information and say, "Oh, okay, I believe you." I didn't think like that.
mm-hmm,
And so, and again, that's probably a big reason why I got in a lot of trouble. Now, it's good and bad, right? The bad part is I got in trouble. The good part is I became a person that was authentic to my thoughts, to my beliefs, to what I believed was right. And and so later on, when I got into business, I was able to do my homework. I was able to research. I was able to figure out, okay, what's right and what's wrong.
mm-hmm,
Are we doing what's right? And once I figured out that we were doing what was right, it was like the whole ocean opened up for me,
mm-hmm,
and I just decided to go do it. And I didn't care about what anybody said. I didn't give a shit about what anybody said, good or bad, about what I was doing. I knew I was right. I knew that mathematically what
mm-hmm,
I was selling to my clients, what I believed in, was the right thing to do. And because of that belief and because of that strength, I became very, very successful very quickly. And I started recruiting and training and building and coaching and teaching. And then I started duplicating. And then through that, I started to scale the business, and the business
mm-hmm,
started growing even without me. That's why at 28, I was a cash millionaire. I was making $500,000 a year back then in passive income every year. and I was free. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I was absolutely free because $1 million invested at 10% was 100,000 per year. And
Mm.
I knew that at 28, $100,000 a year, I could live on that. And so that's why I was free at that moment.
Wow, thank you so so much for really cool, I would say, story, and very knowledgeable actually, and inspirational, because it's exactly about my approach about actually to break the system, and to be so diversify, to dare to be different. Like that's why you have uh to go through challenging times, because systems, they are built to keep us in kind of, control and forms. But we are all different, and especially systems, educational system, it's also, I'm big anti fan of them, how they focus, how we, because they build so much negative self-worth of kids, they killing it,
Right.
especially creative kids, like for other kids with special needs. Like I was totally a different kid, and for me also now I adopted two kids with special needs, and I know that one of them, she's a extremely nice drawer, but maybe she's not that good. But at this system, like you said, like, if you're not challenging it yourself, you don't dare it, right? But then you have to experience, you have like never failure, always a lesson. I do love so much that you actually choose this path through you. Then you got so much experience by so young age, but then you, by like really hitting so much yourself, you could open the gate and show to other people by helping. Please look at me, right? I've been there. It's maybe not the right choice. So amazing. And I love that you said that the ocean of opportunity then kind of became open. Can you tell why actually the podcast, Wealth on the Beach? Is it something because you grew up close to the beach, or because it's actually beach and ocean metaphor? Because then you have really ocean of opportunities that when you coach and mentor people, maybe I'm very actually visionary person. Maybe like, ocean of the.
So let me explain. Well, first of all, I live in California, so
Oh,
I'm only an hour away from the beach where I
I'm
live
stopping the show.
today.
I'm stopping. I'm envy too much. I cannot.
I'm an hour from the beach. I actually lived in Newport Beach for a little while when I was like 10 minutes from the beach, but the wealth on the beach was created as a metaphor
Mhm,
for people to recognize what freedom really is, right? So it's kind of like when I say wealth on the beach, you immediately think retirement, freedom, do whatever you want to do, like just you're kind of
mhm,
lounging on the beach, you have a cocktail, you're enjoying the sun, the sand in your toes. And so I wanted people to visualize what freedom looks like,
mhm,
but wealth on the beach really means whatever you want. I mean, my wealth on the beach right now is the fact that I live a little bit closer to the mountains where I live. I mean, I live right up on the foothills of Rancho Cucamonga in California. I live in a beautiful town. It's a smaller town, so I don't have a lot of traffic, but I'm still only an hour from LA.
mhm,
I'm an hour from the beach. I'm an hour from the mountains, like where you can go skiing. I'm an hour, maybe an hour and a half from the desert, Palm Springs. So it's like I am in the hub of everything but I also have like a smaller town where I don't have a lot of traffic. I don't have to go to the grocery store and pay for parking at the
mhm,
grocery store, which is like ridiculous, right? But other places, if I live in LA, it's too
mhm,
too much traffic. It's like I like going to LA, but I don't want to live in LA. That's not my wealth on the beach, man. But some
mhm.
people, they love LA and they want to be in the downtown. They want to be in the traffic. They want to be around all those crazy people. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. That is their wealth on the beach.
Mhm,
And so wealth on the beach is just an idea that freedom is whatever you make of it. You might like the desert better. You might like the mountains better, whatever it is, that's what you can get. But the first thing you got to do is get the passive income. And so what I teach people is how to create massive passive income, not like, what the way that I teach it is way different than what most people talk about passive income. Mine is completely different. I've done it a completely different way, and that is why Wealth on the Beach is such a distinction and different from anything that most people talk about.
And that's why I so perfect guess for diversity is the game show, because your approach is different. And you actually live in surrounded by diversity. You already brilliantly described our biodiversity, and that's why I do love the idea that you can open the magical window of opportunities to your very unique, diversified, massive passive income. But then, of course, people, when they, can just hear like, oh, passive, but then we know to get massive passive income, you should be, first of all, very active. You should not be passive. But I'm not taking the hidden gems from your mouth. Could you please show the uniqueness of your approach? Thank you.
Yeah. So, when we think about passive income, the first thing we think about is get rich quick scheme. It's like, how do I get rich quick? Everybody's thinking get rich quick, get rich quick. First of all, get rich quick is bullshit. And I think we already are all smart enough to know that it's bullshit. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And so the first distinction here is the fact that massive passive income doesn't mean easy. Doesn't mean like, oh my God, in one day I'm going to be rich. Next year I'm going to be rich because I listened to Daniel's podcast. Probably the biggest thing that I want to make sure that we get sold here is that creating anything in life is hard. Doing anything in life is hard. It's not easy to just get up and go become rich. Like, first of all, at 21 years old, when I started in business, what did I have to do? Before I earned all of my massive passive income, what did I have to do? I had to master my craft. I had to actually learn things that I didn't know when I was 20. So when I was 21, they said, okay, you need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to influence. You need to learn how to close. You need to learn how to overcome objections. You need to learn how to make new friends. You need to know how to build relationships. You need to become a leader. You need to learn how to build teams. You need to learn your finances. You need to learn how to make money. You need to learn how to save money. You need to learn how to invest money. That's a lot of learning. Most people don't want to do that.
No.
Most people do not want to learn new things. So first of all, if you don't want to learn new things, then guess what? You're probably never going to build massive passive income in anything. Because anytime you have an opportunity to make a lot of money, it's going to require a lot of effort and time and focus and discipline and diligence. And I think about, it also is going to take a lot of courage. Now, the way that I did it, it didn't cost me a lot of money. I didn't have to invest. I didn't have to buy leads. I didn't have to do advertising. I didn't have to do any of that. All I did was I got some licenses with our state. And then once I had those financial services licenses, I had a product now that I could sell. I didn't have to buy a product and then sell it. So I had no inventory. So it was perfect for me. I sold financial products, life insurance, investments, annuities, right? All these different products. And then what I did was I said, okay, I am going to go build relationships, make new friends, start becoming a pillar in my community. And then what I did was I talked to people about, hey, do you have life insurance? And they said no. And I said, great, let me run you some numbers. Sold. I mean, we have $10 billion under management right now in life insurance in force. I have $500 million in assets under management in my organization. And so I'm very proud of the fact that we've taught people how to invest money for the future. We've put people through college. We've helped people buy homes. We've had people have emergency funds because of us. And so everything I've ever done for all these years, 30 years I've been doing this, by the way. And for all these years, my main objective was do what's right, do the right thing, help people become more financially independent. And if you do that, and I thought in my mind, if I can do that, I never have to worry about making money. I never have, because what happens is that my clients continue to invest money all the time. Every month, most of our clients invest systematically. So I get paid over and over from those clients. We also have an organization of 1,500 agents. So when those agents help clients, they make money, but I also make money passively. So
Mhm.
that's another stream of income. I also have real estate, commercial property. I earn more passive income from that. I also invest into stocks and bonds, which means that I earn money on dividends, capital appreciation as well. And then I also trade options. So through options trading, I'm making money. I'm actually renting out my stocks and making passive money there. And so I got all kinds of streams of income. And then I can also go out and personally go see clients if I want to. That's a little bit more active, but I can still do that and earn income as well. So just by me getting those licenses and making new friends and building new relationships, I've been able to make $25 million, doing what I'm doing, just in the business part of it, not the rest of the stuff, but through the years, and it's been an incredible, incredible ride.
Wow, really, really knowledgeable, inspirational note. I think, especially for our youngsters, because now, social media part, I it's kind of, it's very, very useful tool, of course, to us to get those very valuable connections. But I'm trying to talk even every day with my kids that not that easy like you believe. You just open and scroll, and all of these influencers and all the social media is like, a lot of chatbots, deep fakes, everything's so perfect there, everything's so, like you said, like so easy, so like, you don't need to work hard or to get, because I'm totally for you. Before you start, like you said brilliantly, you had to start from get all this knowledge, like ocean of knowledge, to get all these pillars, and then put them all together to make your very special unique system from all this knowledge. And then you can get this massive passive income. Then actually it's kind of it's not passive, it will be, but it's so active as possible because you have put so much into that. That's why I even can cite you from this special video where you are given the, like I said, your special rules for 2026, how much actually you should, one part you start from the hit the gym. Actually this very important, like that you should put as much efforts how you should train your brain, your muscle, but as long as your engine, you said, I love it very much, that your body, right? And of course, avoid drama, take care of yourself, with respect, make money, and level up and talk less. I really do love idea, and I know as well. It's actually here, talk less, but actually because winners listen, and it's do it now, people. Then it's not about passivity at all. Because people who actually silence, they are most doable of all. And I love the idea when I have said that if you actually use 2 hours gossiping, right? How many actually hours per year you actually just really wasting your time. And that's why I think we should uh, be a role models and teach, especially now our young generation, because they always try to find this shortcut. Are you agree? They always believe it. I
I,
want to
I
study.
agree. Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest challenge with social media today is that it's just non-stop. It
Yeah.
never stops, man. It's like every time you think you're doing something right, somebody's telling you you're doing something wrong. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm drinking this milk because I'm like, okay, now almond milk. I'm gonna drink almond milk now. And then they go, oh, almond milk is bad for you. And then you're like, okay, I'll go to oat milk. And they're like, well, oat is bad for you now. And it's like everything. Oh, you try this business and this business, you'll get rich. And then you try this bit and oh my God, right? So it never ever stops. And by the way, it's designed for that, for
Mm-hmm.
you to never stop scrolling because it's based on advertising. Same way they get you to watch a series or they get you to watch TV. I mean, it's the same principles. YouTube videos. They're trying to get you to watch as long as possible so they can throw the ads in there. Okay. So it never stops.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why the do it now philosophy is so important because like we gotta like, okay, we gotta take a breath
Mm-hmm.
and say to ourselves, what do we really want? What do I want? If I want to be an actor, then go be an actor and stop thinking about 47 other different things. If I want to be in business and create massive passive income, then that's what I'm going to go do. And I'm going to look, I could have been successful at all kinds of things. I really believe in myself enough to believe that I probably could have been successful at 10 other things,
Mm-hmm.
but I chose one and I made it my life's work. I chose one thing and I made it my life's work. And so I look back after 30 years of being in business. You know what I'm most proud about is that I stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
I found that one thing that got me excited. Doesn't mean I was excited every day because some people are like, well, I would never sell insurance and investments. That's just not my passion. Cool. If it's not your passion, go find your passion and then go do that one thing. But
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that when you find that one thing, try to make sure you can make money at it. Because last time I checked, I need money to eat. I need money to buy a mortgage. Or to buy a house. I need money to do traveling. I need money to have nice food and clothes and take care of my kids and everything else that I'm putting my daughter through college right now and my son, I'm working with him, but I still, help him with certain different things. And of course I don't have a lot of debt, but of course I have a little bit of debt. And so there's a lot of things that money provides. And the
Mm-hmm.
challenge with this world of like, I'm just going to go follow my passion. I'm just going to go follow my, like, I didn't like every day of my life. I wasn't happy every single day. Oh my God, I got to go to somebody's house, drive an hour in traffic, go sit down with somebody and try to convince them to do business with me. I didn't like to do that all the time, but I did it. I didn't want to stay up late putting together systems and recording my presentation so that way I could teach my agents how to duplicate my behaviors and do manuals and systems and making videos and duplicating DVDs way back when so that everybody had my system and all my agents could know what I knew. Like I didn't like doing that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to have to, put on these big events and all. I mean, how much time and effort and that I wasn't watching TV. I didn't watch my first series like until I was probably 45 years old. I mean, I never like I was always doing something that had to do with trying to grow my organization, grow my business because I loved it. I loved it, but I didn't love all of it. And that's my point is you're not going to love everything you do. But you got to find that thing and you got to, hopefully you love 80% of what you do. I loved at least 80% of whatever, but don't think because some things you don't like, don't think that that's God telling you not to do it. That's sometimes the way people think about it. Young people are like, well, I don't think this is for me because I'm not a salesperson. Well, I don't know. I mean, have you
Mm-hmm.
really done it long enough to know if you're any good? The only reason why people aren't good at sales is because they've never been taught how to do sales. So, anyways, that's my point.
But perfect, because it's exactly what they need more and more, that to understand, to really be aware that their whole life it's about duality. It's actually night and day. It's sunny and rainy. Without rain, we don't have rainbow. It doesn't work like that. How can you actually understand that what you like and what make you happy and actually satisfied if you don't experience the times of opposite. And you cannot really all the time uh, believe that it doesn't function like that. Even if you even look the nature has all the questions, right? The even tree lose the leaves and stay naked, and you just trust in the process. And it's about time and about be confident and consistent, and you should be devoted to what you're doing, and you have to work hard, because then it will be sustainable results, right? Because like you said in the very beginning, if it's too quick and too good, then it's not sustainable. This like it's like one time short. How much seconds? Maybe minutes. Okay, maybe days and weeks, but is it sustainable? No, never like that. I know from uh, also my homework that very big part of everything what you are doing. I'm so happy to discover it, because I also do believe in God, and like we have talked a little bit before we start recording, and a lot about faith, but and praying. And actually, I love so much the idea that you also mentioned, in that we should pray not just for what we have got, because oh my gosh, how many times we really actually run and all of a sudden remember we have relationship with God, or who has different relationship with different religion. But when we need something, or we are in the middle of adversity, but okay, me too, we are human being, we still have potential to grow and learn how we actually should be grateful all the time. Because when you want to find something positive, you have more than enough always to have something to be thankful, right, for, and actually even more for the future. So could you elaborate a little bit about your relationship with actually gratitude and faith, and what kind of place they play in your personal and professional life? Thank you.
Yes, I'm a man of faith. I believe in God. I believe Jesus as my Lord and Savior. And so I look, I believe that if you're not grateful for what God is going to bring into your life, like a lot of people are like, okay, God, give me this. God, give me that.
Mhm.
God, you got to do this for me. God, whatever. Instead, I believe that I'm already just thankful. I'm constantly telling God I'm thankful for not just what he's given me, but what he's about to give me.
Mhm.
So I love the fact that I figured out that being grateful is one of the most powerful things in my life. I mean, look, I mean, I'm not saying I'm always happy. I mean, I'm not, I'm a normal human being. I mean, I get sad, I get upset, I get mad. I'm not a perfect person. And but I do believe that I'm like super grateful that just about everything that I've asked for has come to reality in my life. I mean, I was 21 years old. I started writing goals. I remember writing 100 of my, it was called Goals of a Lifetime.
Mhm.
And I wrote down everything that I wanted in my life. And
Mhm.
so when I would meditate or I would pray, I would say, "Thank you, God, for all the blessings that you're giving in my life. Thank you, God, for my health. And if you keep me around here for long enough, God, and I appreciate you for giving me the health, and I appreciate you taking care of me, and I appreciate the future abundance that you're going to provide for me in my life. And if you do that, I promise you that I'm going to do my part uh, to be the type of person that you're guiding me to become. Like one of the most important things to me is that I ask God to live inside of me, and I ask God to guide me the way that He believes I need to be guided. And so
Mhm.
I'm constantly moving different directions because I feel like this is where God wants me to be, and I'm very comfortable in that. I'm very honest about that. Not that I've, I can't. What I can't say is I can't say that I've always been perfect. I haven't always made the right decisions. I've made lots of mistakes in my life. Uh, Relationship mistakes. I've made mistakes. It's funny because, I remember when my son, I made parenting mistakes. I remember when my son, he was playing baseball and he got hit in the thumb with the baseball. And I told him to suck it up. I said, be tougher than that, Max. You can do that, stop your crying. And, I was a tough dad, man. I thought I was being a tough dad. And then we found out later that day that his thumb was actually like broken, like the tip of his thumb was cracked. And I just felt like such a bad dad that I didn't, show him a little more compassion, a little bit more empathy. And, but and even to this day, I always tell him, I'm so sorry, Max. I apologize to you. But there's so many, I mean, in business, I've made mistakes with agents. I've made mistakes with some of our leaders. I've said the wrong things. I've been too tough at times. Um, and I probably lost people because of that throughout the years. And so the good thing is my God is a forgiving God. And I also forgive myself for the mistakes that I've made of the past. And I just try to live every day the best I possibly can. And I just try to do the best I possibly can and just keep moving forward, man. Just keep moving forward, just keep moving forward and just trying to become the best version of me. I was divorced a few years ago, and I look at my life today and I look at me as Daniel Alonzo 2.0. And I'm proud of that. And I feel like I'm constantly becoming a better version of me. And I'm grateful for that. So that's where a lot of my, gratitude comes from.
That's amazing message. That's exactly what we should learn everybody else by being the best version of ourselves. First of all, everybody else already taken, and exactly how biodiversity, that's why we embrace it, we champion, we love it so much. We should understand that when we go to botanical garden, right, we love it so much. Why? Because roses, they never compete with daffodils and or with lilies, right? They just flourish. That they know they are so unique, they're so beautiful. It's never competition. It's actually, that's why we love it so much. So we, people should understand we were sent here by God to this earth, with every single person is unique with own mission, purpose, and vision, and exactly why we are coming here, right? And the greatest thief of joy, it's comparison, right? So it's so profound what you're teaching by being actually who you are. So I'm so grateful, and I hope as many people, especially maybe young people, when they have so many choices now, can hear our show, that they can understand the best currency what they can actually sell is to be authentic, real, to find their own path, to make all mistakes, to hit themselves, because never a failure, always a lesson. Otherwise, how you know what's best for you, right? So there is no other way. But of course, we would like them, especially for our kids, they should get our experience. But it doesn't function like that, right? They should have
Yeah.
their own pain moments. Exactly. If we go just a little bit and talk about in very very open, smoothly sharing about diversity of minds and thoughts, and we spice a little bit this subject about a new emerging type of or domain of diversity. It's neurodiversity. It's cognitive diversity, because it's not new actually, that it's normal. Our brain are different, wired differently, perceive the world differently, right? But it's still, in society, a lot of stigma, prejudice, taboo, discrimination, especially from the country where I was born, in Soviet Union, right? For me, it took so many years even to acknowledge I was neurodivergent. I have OCD, and every single person, no, every fifth person statistically now has neurodivergence, just who actually can get access to be identified. And can you imagine how many people in Africa, China, India, they have never ever access to be identified, right? And exactly because of social media and the speed of the life, even more and more now we have issues with mental health, which actually cause also a lot of these disorders. So, but what my prophecy and advocacy, like I've told you already, I'm going to write the book from OCD to PhD, that actually we can also turn it and use it as superpower. We can also teach our kids that to be ADHD, you can be super focused on something, right? You can have pattern system thinking, or a lot of stuff that you should not believe you're broken, you're not good enough, which I've believed so many years, that you of course will be depressed, you will be um, outcasters in society. So my prophecy, like I said, I started my podcast in mental institution because it was really severe episode in my life when I struggled with OCD after the war broke. So that's why I'm trying to show, actually, by being myself. Look at me. I was like in mental institution in September. Half year ago, I was on the red carpet in Cannes Festival, like a model. It's the same
Well,
person.
look, I mean, I got to jump in here because I feel like, you know, you're a perfect example of the fact that that shit don't matter.
Mm.
It's like, I mean, you could tell me you're OCD, but it doesn't make any difference to me. And by the way, it probably shouldn't make a lot of difference to the person with the OCD, other than like accepting, okay, I'm a little bit crazier than everybody else. I'm a little bit, more aggressive than everybody. Maybe I can't keep a conversation. I mean, I've never been diagnosed with anything, but I'm probably sure I got a little bit of OCD too.
I
So
believe you have ADHD, like hyperfocus. That's for sure
or,
because you
or,
invented.
or ADHD or whatever. Right? I'm sure I got something, but let me just make this is what I want people to understand is like it don't effing matter because everything that's good about me and everything that's wrong about me, it's what has created me to be the best version of me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
would not change it. That's why I've never taken drugs. I've never, well, I mean, I have smoked marijuana before. But I never have taken like over the counter prescription drugs to like settle me down or get my mind, whatever, doctor might subscribe. That's why I never like have been tested for any of that shit because I don't even care. Even if they came back and they said, "Oh, you have ADHD." What's so? I'm excited that I have ADHD. It
Mm-hmm.
means that I'm like more focused on doing lots of different things and building something and creating something and working late and getting up early and trying to get things done and blah blah blah. Like, look, I love the way I am. I love that I'm a little bit over the top sometimes. I love that I'm a little bit, more passionate than everybody else. I don't know. But I'm not better than anybody else, but I'm not worse than anybody else either.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I accept me. I like me. I like who I am. Look, even all my trauma shit. Okay, got lots of trauma. As I said, as a kid, I got a lot of fights, a lot of bad shit happened. I had parents and divorced parents and saw stuff I shouldn't like all that stuff. Like that's what created me. So at 21 years old, instead of me saying, "Oh, poor me, oh my God, I can't believe, it happened to me," and using the trauma to hold me back and everything, I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna use it as fuel
Mm-hmm.
to make my life better. I'm going
Better.
to use all that shit as fuel. So, guess what I did? All right. So, I had a father, real biological father, that really didn't keep his word. He always told me he was going to do shit that he never did. I had, somebody that just like let me down. I would be on the corner waiting for him to pick me up on his weekend, and then he would never come.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff, right? But
I
guess
know that.
what? But you know
Mm-hmm.
what I did? Is I used it as fuel. So you know what kind of person I am and what I've been my whole life? I'm a person that you can rely on. I do what I say I'm gonna do. I'm a person of my word. I'm a do it now guy, right? He did a lot of drugs in the 70s and 80s. I don't do drugs. I'm not a crazy drinker. I've never been an alcoholic. I've never, maybe a social at some point, but like everything that happened bad to me I've just used it for my good. I have two dads. I have a stepfather. I have a real dad. And so and both of them have issues. Both of them have problems. They're both great guys today. I love them both the same today. But I'm lucky that I had two dads. I'm lucky that that shit happened. I'm lucky that my parents got divorced. I'm lucky that my real father did the shit that he did when he was younger because that taught me what not to do. So I'm like the luckiest person in the world. How awesome is that? Right?
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. We have so much in common, so many similar because I have the same shit in the childhood, and that's why I decided to save at least two lives and decided to adopt two girls to exactly them not having experience in childhood I had. It's exactly how I decided to use my fuel, right? So it's amazing. And about this OCD shit, like you said, I have like before we show we start like talking with you with tattoos, and this one last one it was like inner peace, but the most coolest one I have here. And my next one plan, actually, I'm going to have tattoo, which is, which one? It will be OCD licious. It's exactly to give, like you said, that, okay, to be so proud. So it will be here, like OCD licious. Like, so amazing.
I'm just saying that all that stuff, I mean, you're a total inspiration. You've done so many great things in your life. You've helped so many people. So it's like whatever it is you got, it's what makes you who you are. And I hope everybody hears me like loud and clear. I mean, even the people in Ukraine. I mean, now obviously I can't really understand 100% what they're going through because this is major. I mean, they're going through war, they're going through separation, they're going through, I mean, so that's a whole nother level of trauma experience.
Mm,
But hopefully, if there was a couple of people to really hear me right now and like really understand what I'm saying, I hope that they would try their best some way somehow. Again, can't totally relate because I never been through what they're going through right now, but hopefully just a little bit they could try to say to themselves, how can I use what I've gone through to make my life better and to make other people's lives better? What could I do? How can I do it? And if they can just in one way try to make their life better, try to make somebody else's life better because of what they're going through or what they've gone through, their life is going to be significantly better. And try to use the trauma as fuel for good versus fuel for negativity, for victimhood, right? For bad experiences, bad thoughts. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be easy to do. I'm just saying that I think that one of the greatest things that we could learn as humans is how to become more mentally tough. But that doesn't mean be more cynical or be more like skeptical or be more of a jerk. Like, sometimes people think, well, I'm going to be tougher. And that just means you're an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tough, so I'm an asshole. No, no, no. That's not what it means. It means like you're mentally tough. Mentally tough means like I am mentally aware of what's going on and I know what is going on. And if I can dissect this situation and understand it clearly,
mhm.
then I can learn from it and then again use it as fuel for my fire, for good, for my future, for creating something great.
Wow, genuinely impressed. I do. Um, Thank you so much from all my heart for this very, very deep message to my people. We need all kind of support, that. And before we wrapping up, actually, and the closing message, I always trying to make also a little bit joke and put some magic because I do believe in magic, and especially in that magic that we should create by ourselves. And we start with childhood and childhood related always use fairy tales and some magical moments, and I'm trying always to close up with the positive note. And then the moment when I'm inviting in the studio my vice president, and then people were joking, oh, okay, we will be three of us. I was never warned, but then I pull out this beautiful, beautiful young lady. You see,
Hmm.
tough one, beautiful pinky, my favorite color. I do believe we should more and more often use like really pink glasses to look through to this world. So at least you can understand what it is, right?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's Aladdin's lamp right there.
Exactly. It's Aladdin's lamp. My vice president, the most perfect ever. She never like really talks against me. I can do whatever I want. She's always supportive, and yeah, okay. And she, yes, can tolerate my jokes and everything. But the most important that she's so kind and sustainable. She tried to help as many guests as possible to make their wishes. Unfortunately, we cannot grant three wishes, then it's not possible. We try to stay realistic as well. So, but one wish, absolutely possible. So, my last question would be for today, if you could really make one that magical wish that should come true, how it should sound.
Oh, wow. That's just so tough. I mean, I have so many wishes and desires and dreams, but you know what? Honestly, I
Except the
like
ticket for Norway that you should catch soon. We
there
understand.
you go. Other than the business class ticket to Norway, other than that, I would want other things too.
Okay.
But I think I want more than anything. I want people to to start creating their realities, to start living their dream life. Because I've been so lucky
Mm-hmm.
in the last 30 years. I mean, honestly, like I went into business and I didn't really struggle. I was telling somebody the other day, I started in business. I had really good mentors and I didn't struggle financially. I never struggled financially. I never had issues or problems when it came to that kind of stuff. And of course, I was conservative and I saved my money. I invested my money. I didn't go buy Ferraris when I was 25. I didn't try to impress anybody with my stupid shit. I didn't, any of that. And of course, I set myself up for the rest of my life. And even today, even if my business went away, I mean, I'm still financially free. I'm still okay financially. And, but I did that on purpose. I did that because I wanted less stress, and so I I think that my wish is that everybody finds their wealth on the beach. They
Mm-hmm.
find their way to get financially independent, for them to be free. Because I think if people knew how good it felt to have your bills paid on the first, I'm not a billionaire. I don't think I'll ever be a billionaire. I don't think I want to be a billionaire, believe it or not. That's not important to me. It's not the money, it's the security. It's the freedom that the security brings. It's like when you have enough wealth that that if everything takes a shit, you're still going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes away, you still are going to be okay. When and then just even the knowledge to know that if everything got hit, that I
Mm-hmm.
could go create it again. When you have that feeling, that knowledge, that information that, again, most people do not know, for sure, most people do not know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my wish that people get that information. And I hope people reach out to me on Instagram. I hope people follow me on Instagram. I hope people ask me questions. I hope people send me DMs. I hope people say, hey, Daniel, how do I do this? Or can you talk to me? Or can I hope that people ask me questions. I hope that people know. I mean, I even have a phone number. It's 9091, which is United States, 909-245 9945. If they call that number, they could actually
Good.
schedule an appointment with me. They could have a conversation with me, And so it's like I hope people reach out and do that stuff because I just want to make a difference. And even if it's just a small little dent in the universe, it's always been my goal to make a dent in the universe and to help people. I'm financially free. I don't need to sell you nothing. I don't need to sell more books. I don't need to, sell something to make my mortgage or anything like that or to, fund my lifestyle. I'm free. And I just want to make a difference in people's lives for the rest of my life. That's all I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm just going to try to do my best to teach people how to get financially free. Because I know that when you get financially free, there's
Mhm.
something that comes with that nobody can ever take away. And especially you get the knowledge, nobody can ever take it away from you. Even if the market goes through the toilet or something happens catastrophic, nobody can take that information from you. And I want to teach it and I want to train it and I want to, help people do better.
Amazing. That's why we, from our side, will be joining with all our atoms, frequency, and molecules, and we will be absolutely sharing the information where people can reach out to you, all the information about the Instagram and links and phone and everything. It's amazing. I do love the idea that you're so authentic and real. Actually, people when they can contact you, it's actually to you because so many people now. I feel like it's so irritating when you try to reach out to them, send message, and you automatically get all this like everybody else, like robots. Like I'm like I started like but this is me because I think we went way too much with AI and everything. It's so damaging for real human being connect. I do love hugging, kissing, smelling. I need like to feel present all my five like senses all the time. So for me, when I just like chatbots and robots, I get as well. So wow, what a powerful show, amazing. I of course do wish all the best with all your projects, that people really as many as possible can reach out to you. And of course you are my beautiful audience, you're more than welcome to always get connection with me, because I'm also the real, I always answer directly as well, because I think it's so important to keep this style of connection and to show people that you are for them, because you never know actually who is there, and there one day you can be. You never know, life and life circle, like we really all interconnected, equity, we all together, we actually all in together. And sometimes it takes so many times for people, so many years to understand that actually we're just oneness, right? Everybody believe like, oh, I'm with this crown today. One day this crown can be, yeah, but it's another subject. So amazing wish. I'm journeying, like I said. So I hope we can maybe make some cool. No, of course you should catch your flight. Why maybe actually? Come on, what I'm saying now.
So what do I eat in Norway? Like what's the best food? What's your favorite food in Norway? Do you have a
We
favorite
are
food?
like famous for salmon, right? Because it's fisherman country.
Oh, I
But
can I go salmon fishing? Can I go
yeah,
salmon fishing?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I have cottage on the fjord where you can salmon fish.
I
They're
want to
real raw ones.
salmon fish. I went to
Wild salmon
Alaska.
fish.
I did salmon fishing, but I really would love to go
Yeah,
salmon fishing. Okay. So when I
I,
come to Norway, you're going to take me to go salmon fishing. Okay.
yes, I
Okay. Good.
think you
Deal.
swear.
Deal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Deal. So, and yes, beautiful. In this, like, last, not my last, but for today, this message in this rapidly changing world, please listen to Daniel. Please listen what he is saying. It's so important that we keeping on our doing stuff, of course, observing, listening, gaining knowledge from wise brain giants like he is. But please be authentic, be real, be diverse as possible, dare to be. Because when we are designed here in these spaces just for once, life is too short. It's so important. And please do it with faith, with love, compassion, and with your heart. And stay tuned with us. And until next time. So salmon fishing, and then we go to be on the beach. So now California, right?
All right.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
do love. Just pronounce California, give me endorphins. Oh my God, you don't need even to arrange anything special. Because we are so special. We're already so special, right?
Absolutely.
It's about
Love it.
frequency energy. Thank you so much. With much love from Norway, and I see you soon here. I'm jumping now and preparing everything for salmon fishing.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Bye bye. Bye.